What's up, everybody? Eyecee here, and welcome to another NBA video. This one is for November 15th 8-game slate. This is going to be a really fast-paced video because I really don't have time and I still want to make a video. I've updated my spreadsheet here for those of you who I'm sharing it with. This is a free spreadsheet. If you guys want access to this spreadsheet, you can DM me on Twitter with your email, text me, post a comment down below, or tweet me or email, or DM me is the best to keep it safe and secure. I'll share you the spreadsheet. It's free. It has my notes for my favorite plays, and even the players I don't like, I still have notes for you guys, so you can go over it. I have team notes, game notes, I just have general notes, and then I highlight my guys here. It does have some data here, so if you guys are interested, it's free. All I ask is that you like, comment, and subscribe. Subscribe is the most important. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. It's the only thing that helps me grow, and I'll be able to continue to dish these out for free. It does take a little bit of time here. It's taking a good hour and a half to populate this and put in my notes and do my research. So if you guys want, it's free. I hope to keep it free forever. So all I ask, like, comment, subscribe, help me out, and I'll help you out. But yeah, I have to go really fast because I have to get out of here. So again, I'm not going to be covering everything. If you want to go over my notes, you can. If you give me your email, I'll share it with you. So my notes are here. But yeah, first game, Detroit versus Charlotte. A fantastic game for the Detroit side, going up against a pace-up matchup here against this young Charlotte team. Andre Drummond is going to be a little bit low owned because people have the sense that Blake Griffin affects Andre Drummond. Andre Drummond is still a fantastic fantasy producer with Blake Griffin on the court. It doesn't matter who's on the court with Andre Drummond. He's a beast. He's going to get his points. And at 8,600, he's a very, very fairly priced guy here. If a little bit underpriced, if I do say so myself. So Andre Drummond is one of my more favorable center picks here. I like him more than Towns and Drummond. However, Towns is also in a very, very good matchup. So it's a toss-up there. But Andre Drummond and Towns are the two centers I'm really looking at in the pay up spot. Blake Griffin, 7,100. He played 24 minutes and he played really well. It's a fantastic matchup for him, but I'm really looking at news here for Blake. If Balake is going to be getting more minutes, then Balake is 100% in play for me. He's someone that could go out there in limited minutes and smash it. So I love the matchup here, and if he's going to get the minutes, for sure in play at 7,100. Markieff Morris is the other guy I'm looking at. 4,700 is his price. It's a little bit higher than it was a couple of days ago, but it's still less than what it was when all these guys were injured. A lot of these guys are back now, so that should take away some usage from Markieff, particularly Balake being back. However, I think this is a matchup where Markieff can still go out there and perform at a decent level and get you that 30 DraftKings points that you're looking for, especially if Blake is still going to be limited in minutes. So those are the three guys I like from the Pistons. On the Hornets, it's a whole nother story here. Cody Zeller at 5,400. I love his price. He has tremendous upside. He's had great games against Drummond in the past, and yeah, Drummond is a tough matchup in general for a lot of big men, but Cody Zeller has shown that he's not scared of the competition. He's in his prime right now, and I know he looks a lot older than he does, but he's in his prime and he's playing really well. His minutes have gone up in the past few games when they were down in the previous ones. He's back to playing those big minutes again, and he's in a great spot here where they're going to need his size and strength, so definitely someone to look at. Devontae Graham is the guy I'm really looking at on the Hornets. I like him more than Rozier. $400 price difference here between him and Rozier. I feel a lot of people will be chasing Rozier, and I mean, you're not wrong to chase Rozier. He still has a decent chance to go off here, but it's going to be a lot tougher of a matchup than it was in the previous game against Memphis. Detroit plays at a slower pace. They also employ a defensive scheme. They have a defense-oriented coach in Dwayne Casey, so should be somewhat harder for Terry Rozier. But Devontae Graham, he should still be starting. He's 400 more. He just has a lot more upside, in my opinion, than Terry Rozier, even though Rozier has a big ceiling as well. It's just the probability of reaching ceilings. I feel like Devontae Graham has a higher probability of reaching his ceiling than Rozier today. And for a $400 difference, I don't mind. And then Miles Bridges, this is the last time you might see Miles Bridges getting this much minutes because Batum's going to be back in the mix. But even when Batum was in the mix, they already showed that they were trying to get away from playing Batum, who's old, and trying to stick in more of the young guys and give them additional run. So this may or may not hold true. But for now, I could see Miles Bridges using this game as an opportunity to remind everybody that he should be the de facto starting guy in this lineup. So that's pretty much it for here. And if Dwayne Bacon is out, then Malik Monk I will consider again. Even at 5K, we know what he's about. He has huge upside going back to last year. He was one of the most enjoyable players to watch on this young, crappy Hornets team. And now he's just picking up where he left off since he's been getting the minutes. If Bacon's out, then Malik Monk is definitely a guy I'll be looking at. But for now, I'm on the fence. The Spurs versus Orlando. I honestly don't like picking players against the Orlando Magic. Last week was a perfect indication of that. I should have just followed my gut. But I picked a lot of the 76er players, and they all did fantastically horrible. Each in their own right did bad. But the reason for that is Orlando plays at a very, very slow pace. They play good defense. They make the opponents play to their pace. So I don't know. The Spurs aren't a typical Spurs team. They play at a faster pace than past years, but they are a lot of beta guys on this team that, sometimes don't wake up to compete. Like DeRozan, I don't know what DeRozan we're going to get. LaMarcus Aldridge, is he going to be a subdued LaMarcus Aldridge? I don't know. They're decent plays here at this price. They're priced very fairly for the type of players there, but they haven't been showing that sort of upside in the past few games. DeRozan especially. But with that said, there's other guys I like at these price points that are in much better matchups that I'll be getting to. So I'm just not interested in any Spurs, and I don't want to be telling you guys to play Spurs, but I'm not going to be playing any Spurs. The only Spurs that I would even slightly consider, and that's only because his ownership is going to be so damn low, is DeJounte Murray. He's had 3 bad games in a row, and, he's due for a bounce-back game. Magics are a really tough matchup in general, but, going up against Markelle Fultz and Fournier could maybe help him, bounce back. On the Orlando Magic side, I really like Nikola Vucevic. Every single time Orlando's on the slate, I say the same thing. Vucevic is always in play. There's nothing in my mind that could tell me not to play Vucevic, especially at a 7,900 price point. He could go out there and get you 60 DraftKings points, no problemo. But he has a decent floor, so he's a safe play. By no stretch of the imagination, is one of the best plays. You could pay a couple hundred more and get Drummond. So, he's a high mid-tier play, but there's other guys we could get to. But he's always in play. He has that upside, and I can't really say anything bad about him. Aside from there's just other guys that are relatively close to the price that you can get to. Gobert, Drummond, even pay up for Sabonis, 100 more. But yeah, that's neither here nor there. Got to make a fast video. Back on track. Aaron Gordon. A lot of people are going to chase Aaron Gordon's 60-point game or 50-point game, whatever it was. I said in that video that was the perfect matchup for Aaron Gordon, and I'll say it again. This is another type of matchup where Aaron Gordon can thrive. He should be in light consideration, but honestly, I'd rather play Jonathan Isaac in this one over Aaron Gordon. I still don't have a very much favorable opinion of most of these guys, but these guys do have upside, and they've shown throughout the season that they can get it done. The Spurs don't play at that fast of a pace that it should affect their offense all that much with additional opportunities, but they still play at a decently pace where these guys should get some extended opportunities to perform. Jonathan Isaac would be the guy at the forefront, and then Evan Fournier at 5,100. He's still playmaking, handling the ball, not as much as when Augustine was in the lineup, but he's still doing it. And at 5,100, he's a shooter who playmakes, and if his shot's falling, then you'll be happy because he'll be getting you assists and other peripherals, and it's just a shot that needs to fall, then he'll smash at 5,100. So he's a decent play as well. There's some decent plays here. They're all risky in their own right, but I would say Evan Fournier would be my favorite out of all these guys, followed by Jonathan Isaac because I like the prices and I like their upsides. Next game, Wizards versus Timberwolves. And honestly, Thomas Bryant is my favorite Wizard here. 6,100 is too cheap. He's going up against Karl-Anthony Towns. A lot of people will think that's a terrible matchup for him, but it's not. Thomas Bryant has gone up against some of the toughest centers in the league so far, and he's done just well. Porzingis, Adams, Capella. Granted, some of them he did bad as well, but he has a lot of upside against Love and Tristan Thompson. Capella, the Drummond one was a little tough for him, but Drummond is a better defender than Towns. But Thomas Bryant has humongous upside. He's my favorite Wizard. Bradley Beal I'll be looking at as well. However, Bradley Beal will be chased by some people after a 60-point performance. Rui Hachimura is the other guy I really like. 5,100. He's 2 games in a row he's played really well. and the price is really cheap for the amount of upside this guy possesses, especially in this matchup where his size will be needed. He's a pretty long wing player, so he'll definitely be needed. The only problem with him is his foul troubles. He does get into foul trouble, so there's that. And then I do have some favorable opinion on some of these guys, but I'm just not going to talk about them, or the Orlando situation will happen, or I'll start highlighting people I didn't really want to highlight. Like, they're all in play here, but I just don't like this matchup in general. But I still like Orlando guys more than I like San Antonio guys for sure. All right. Minnesota side, Karl Anthony Towns is 100% in play for me at 10K. I don't mind him whatsoever. Andrew Wiggins is the guy I'm on the fence with because, yeah, he's been playing out of his mind and buying into the coach and all that, but he's still only doing it mainly because Karl Anthony Towns was missing and Jeff Teague wasn't 100% into the rotation, and there were some other guys out, but he was still doing it, and I expect him to continue to do it. I think he's turned the corner here. It's a new beginning for Andrew Wiggins. This is the Andrew Wiggins we've been waiting for. However, I'm still not convinced, and it's risky in my mind, so I don't want to put you guys on a guy that I don't feel comfortable with. However, recent performances indicate that he's very well capable of getting you 50 DraftKings points, so don't mind me on Andrew Wiggins. I just have a personal bias. It dates back to like 3 years. We've had problems, me and Wiggins. Jake Layman and Travion Graham, the two guys I've been talking about in my videos a lot past few days, especially with all the injuries when everybody was talking about Travion or Grant or Okogie and Culver. Jake Layman is the safest out of all the guys I just mentioned. He's really carved a nice rollout for himself in this team, and the coaches trust him. He's all over the court. Watching the game the other day, he was doing a little bit of everything, and I don't mind going to Jake Layman at all. 4,400 is a decent price for him in this matchup. It's a great matchup. It should be one of the highest scoring games of the slate. Minnesota plays at a very, very fast pace. Washington Wizards don't really have a defense, so it should be great. Jeff Teague, if he plays, honorable mention. Jeff Teague, if he plays 5,300, 100% in play for me. He could exceed his value in limited minutes. So keep an eye on the news for that. On the Indiana Pacers, you got Domantas Sabonis and Malcolm Brogdon are my two top picks here. Both these guys should be in a fantastic pace-up matchup here against the Houston Rockets, who may or may not be without Russell Westbrook. They're not without Clint Capella and Eric Gordon. So there's a lot of guys I like on the Houston side, but let me just finish up with Indiana side here. This should be a great spot for these guys to go off. 7,600, 8,700. Their ownerships are going to be elevated because this is one of the games to target of the night for sure. So I like both Sabonis and Brogdon. They should both be decent picks here. Huge upside, fair prices. And then TJ Warren at 6K is the guy I really, really like, but I'm scared. He's been performing decently well with Lamb out of the mix, and Lamb is still out. But I'm not really sure what's scaring me here. The pace is great. I don't know. I guess it's my gut or my balls that are doing it. Ideally, I'd really want to be over the field on TJ Warren because this is a great spot for him. The pace is good and everything, but something in my gut just is not allowing me to do it. So I can't quantify it, but it's just a gut play. I'm considering TJ Warren, but I'm not going crazy with them. So I really do love the price, the matchup, the usage, the minutes, everything. The injuries on the Houston Rockets going up against some of the second string rotational guys. I love it, but something is going against it in my balls, so you gotta listen to your balls. Bitadze is gonna be starting. Hopefully he's gonna be starting. We don't know yet, but it's my indication that he will be starting since he's back, and Miles Turner is still out. 4K is a great price for this guy who's shown tremendous upside. He should be going up against Tyson Chandler, who we could cause problems for. He's a very young, strong. He's like a bull, man. He's a young bull, so he's a very strong, chunky guy. He could cause problems, get up and down the court easily. So I don't mind him whatsoever. He's in consideration, especially if he's starting. And TJ McConnell, we know his upside. We've seen it the last few days. He's a decent value play. He's a little bit risky, though, because he could also, do what he usually does and gets 18 DraftKings points. But he has that 35 DraftKings point upside, almost at 40, but doesn't have 40. 35 is what I'll be willing to give him. Houston Rockets. This is where all the value is, especially if Westbrook and Daniel House are out. So let's just go with the mindset that these guys are out. Okay. Westbrook and Daniel House are out. James Harden and Austin Rivers are locks for me. Like, there's nothing to really debate about. They're gonna get all the usage, all the minutes. Everything's gonna come to them. But let's just say Westbrook plays. If Westbrook plays, he's my favorite. That's why I put the dark green here. If he's playing, he's my favorite Rocket. I don't expect his stats to hold up. He's a couple hundred more expensive than a few of these guys, so it's just ridiculous. A couple hundred more than Andrew Wiggins. Like, let's be real here. 100 more than Andrew Wiggins. 200 more than Kemba. 400 more than D'Lo. I mean, D'Lo still has more of a volume and all that, but he's in a way tougher matchup. I mean, I don't know. It's really hard for me to get away from Westbrook. It's really hard, and it's burned me the last few days, unfortunately, but it's really hard for me to get away from Westbrook here. A lot of signs indicate that I should be getting away from Westbrook, but the price is too damn enticing, man. 8,400 for Russell Westbrook. Like, what else do you want in life? Like, 50, 60 DraftKings points is not outside of the realm of possibility, even if he hasn't been meeting those type of expectations the last few games, and Harden's been ball hogging like no one else. But man, this guy still has real upside. And then if Daniel House is playing, he's the other guy I really like. 3,200. His price is finally down. He's not priced crazy anymore. This should be a great spot for him, especially since Eric Gordon is out and even Capella will be missing, so they're going to need his size even more. So definitely in play for me. But if he's missing, then Austin Rivers, Ben McLemore, these guys I'll be looking at. And I'm on the fence with Tyson Chandler, who's going to be starting for Capella, but we don't know how many minutes he's going to get. The minutes are not secure. Batate could cause a problem for him. He does have foul history, so he could get into foul trouble. But if he's going to be playing 25 minutes, then I don't mind him whatsoever. Next game we have is Philly versus OKC, and honestly, Joel Embiid at 9,200 is at a price point where he could easily smash and exceed his value. However, with all the 76ers back, all of these guys kind of, just one ball and everybody has to eat, so it kind of hinders fantastic performances from these guys. At most, one or two guys will be really good and the other guys will be subpar. For me today, Joel Embiid and Tobias Harris are those guys. Josh Richardson, Ben Simmons, Al Horford, I am going to consider. I love their prices. They're priced very, very fairly in my opinion, but they're all priced very fairly in my opinion, and not everyone's going to eat. So, go figure. Joel Embiid, Tobias Harris are the two guys for me. Tobias Harris because of his matchup and because he's recently burned a few people, so his ownership should be naturally lower. And I just like Tobias Harris' spot here against OKC. He usually does good against OKC. I don't know what it is, but he does. And then Joel Embiid is Joel Embiid. Nothing much to say. He's a beast. If he's going to be playing more than 28 minutes, I really love him. But, it is always a risk with his minutes and his foul trouble and all that. But definitely someone that could go out there and smash value. On the OKC side, I have all the notes here, but Shai Gilgeous is really the guy here, and Chris Paul. Those are the two guys I'm really looking at. Steven Adams as well I'm looking at, but not really super excited about any of these guys. Steven Adams, just because, his price is $4,900 and we know what he's all about. He's due for a good game. He hasn't really had one of those crazy games yet. Not by crazy, I mean like 35 DraftKings points. He's been getting around 25 and stuff, so it hasn't been all that great. But we know Steven Adams has that upside, so definitely in play. And then on the fence with Nerlens Noel, it is a revenge game for him. He has been getting decent amount of minutes, and if Steven Adams gets into foul trouble or anything, which he's capable of here, because Embiid does get people into foul trouble with his flopping and all that, so Nerlens Noel could be a thing. Next game we got here, Utah versus Memphis. This is another great game here that we have to really kind of pay attention. It's a pace-up matchup for the Utah Jazz, and a lot of these guys will be getting additional opportunities. I have my notes here. A lot of these are details, so feel free to read through all of them. But my top guy here would be Rudy Gobert, Donovan Mitchell, and even Mike Conley would be my top play here. Just because of the pace-up matchup, and he hasn't been doing that great. I like his price a lot at $6,400. He has been Mr. Mediocre, but this should be a great matchup for him in a pace-up spot here. He should definitely be able to outperform his regular averages. So I don't mind him whatsoever. Rudy Gobert was crying about the ball. He's been getting the ball, and if he's going to be getting the ball as much as he did, then he's definitely in play at 8,100. He could go out there and get 50 DraftKings points, and on a slate with Drummond, Towns, and Embiid, he's going to be overlooked, but he has similar upside in my mind. So definitely someone to look at. And Donovan Mitchell, he's been decent the last few games. He hasn't been really, going crazy when he was during his rookie campaign and all that, but he's a consistent guy. He does have a little bit of a boost to his upside here against this pace-up matchup, so that's pretty much it. And I'm on the fence with Emmanuel Mudiay. Not on the fence. Sorry. He's a low consideration value play for me. A tad risky with limited upside, but he's a safe value play, so he's in consideration based on that. On the Memphis side, we got a couple of plays here. Ja Morant would be the guy I really like, 6,300. Yeah, Utah's a tough defense matchup, but Ja Morant just gets a significant amount of usage on this team. And even though he only plays around 28 minutes a game, which is the risk with this guy, he's a very good player. He's going to be an all-star soon. Not this year, not next year, but he's going to be an all-star in this league. The way he plays, his style of play, very electrifying, engaging for the fans, and a very good performer on some nights. He's going to have his ups and downs because he is a rookie, but definitely by no stretch of the imagination should you be fading him today. He's very capable of getting you 40-something DraftKings points, and yeah, it is the Jazz. They're not the Hornets, but he still has that type of upside, so definitely in play for me, definitely in consideration. Jaren Jackson, the walking foul, 5,500 is a great price for this guy. We know the tremendous upside he possesses. His issue has always been him and his foul troubles. Still 20 years old, still a lot to learn here, but I don't mind playing him at 5,500. He's managed to stay clear of foul troubles the last 2 games, and he's been really well, and I don't mind trying again here. Granted, Gobert is a lot smarter of a defender than the other 2 he's played in the last 2 games, but huge upside here. Great GPP play. And then Jonas Valanciunas, he could mess around and win you a GPP. He was almost about to mess around and win me a GPP, but then he stopped. I don't know why he stopped, but he was killing it, and then he just stopped. So, honorable mention. And then Marco Guduric, honorable mention for the future. Great player. Another star they got here. Fantastic. If he gets usage, minutes, or whatever, he should be a great play for the future. He's had some good games even at this price point already, 25 in his last game. But it's a little bit risky here, so keep that in mind. But if any news opens up, if anybody's injured or out, then he's someone definitely to consider. And of course, Brandon Clark, he only is really in play with Jaren Jackson and Valanciunas off the court and foul trouble or not playing. None of those things are really in play today, so Brandon Clark's not really in my main thoughts. Boston Celtics versus the Golden State Warriors. Honestly, I'm not really too excited about the Boston side here either. Jason Tatum over Jaylen Brown for me. I don't know who the hell does the prices for DraftKings. Jason Tatum has way more of a ceiling than Jaylen Brown on most nights, and Jaylen Brown is really, not going to be this highly priced. His ownership was boosted the previous game. That really boosted his price. It should go down. I don't really like Jaylen Brown here. Can he go off against the Golden State Warriors? Sure, he can go off, but I think he'd only really be a play for me because his ownership would be lower based on the price here and some of the other options on the slate. So that will be the only reason I'd play him. Aside from that, I wouldn't really be looking at Jaylen Brown. Jason Tatum, Kemba Walker would be the guys. And then Enes Kanter with Dyson, Robert Williams, questionable or even out, would be the guy I'd be looking at. He should be in for a huge game against the Golden State Warriors with their injuries and all that. So definitely that's the only thing I'll be looking at here. Not really interested with anybody else. On the Golden State Warriors side, Draymond Green, how am I supposed to get away from $5,300 price range? Like, how is that supposed to happen? It's impossible. He's definitely the guy I'll be playing a lot of. And then D'Angelo Russell at 8K, the other guy I'll be playing a lot of. He's going to be getting a lot of volume. He is in a tough matchup here against the Boston Celtics, who are one of the best defensive teams. However, he knows them really well. They know him really well too, but he knows them really well. And he is with a new team now, so that is a little bit of an uncertainty for them. But D'Angelo Russell should be in a great spot here, taking a significant amount of shots, and can easily smash his price on the slate. Last game, Sacramento Kings versus the Lakers, and would you believe it? They priced Bogdan Bogdanovic so high that it really makes me want to think about playing this guy. His usage and everything is fantastic. It's terrific. Don't get me wrong. But 6,700 after one really good game is kind of crazy. The ownership was crazy on him, so that the way the prices work is the ownership coupled in with their previous games makes the new price. The time when you get a discount on the price is when the player plays a back-to-back and they didn't have time to factor in the ownership from the previous night and the price from the previous night into the next day. That's what you're really looking for. Here they had time to, factor in all these things. That's why his price is ridiculous here. He was one of the highest pick guys on the slate the other night, and he was one of the highest performers. So Can he get a repeat performance here against the Lakers? It's a much tougher matchup for sure, but he can. It's just a lot more riskier. He's still the top assist maker on this team. With De'Aaron Fox out, the ball is going to be in his hands a lot. You can see right here. However, it's a risky play at the price. I'm not all that confident in playing him. I know people are going to chase it, but the matchup here is tough, man. I don't know. I'm just not all that sure. I'd rather play Buddy Hield for $100 more. I'd rather play Harrison Barnes for $1,000 less. Much more, lots more certainty with these guys. You know what they're about. You know what you'll get from them. So I'd rather go there than chase Bogdan. But definitely a GPP play can get it done for you. You know, you already showed it last game. So definitely something to consider. And then on the Lakers, man, LeBron James, if AD is out, definitely would be the guy I'd go to. But AD is expected to play. With AD expected to play, I'm putting him in a dark green. He's a favorable play for me at 9,600, under 10K. He should be seeing a regular amount of minutes, regular amount of everything. There should be a decent matchup for these guys. The Kings are playing really well without their guys. A lot of the role players are really trying to, stake a, really claim. I don't know what am I trying to say here. They're really trying to, hold the fort down while these guys are out and really use the opportunity to their full advantage. That's what I really meant. So this could be a tough game for the Lakers. Lakers might be without Avery Bradley or KCP. If that's the case, then Danny Green would get a humongous bump for me. And as well as Kyle Kuzma would get a humongous bump for me if Avery Bradley and KCP would be out. Aside from that, JaVale McGee at 5,900 is too damn high. I'm not playing that. I'd rather just play Dwight Howard for $700 less. We know JaVale McGee has huge upside, but not when AD is there. Aside from that, some of these other guys, I'm not really all that excited about or interested in. I don't really have much to say about them, so I will not. Again, if you want access to my spreadsheet, I will be updating this throughout the day. I have a whole nother column here for my notes around 5:30, 6 o'clock when I get more news and I do some more research throughout the day. I am going to the gym right now or my wife is going to kill me. So that's why I tried to speed this up. Sorry it was a little bit faster than usual, but I hope I got a lot of information out there for you guys. And of course, if you guys want to read the notes yourself, DM me on Twitter with your email and I will share it with you. Thanks for tuning in, guys. And if you haven't, please like, comment, subscribe. I would really appreciate it. It helps me grow and keeps this stuff free. So like, comment, subscribe, retweet, share. Everything you can to support me. I would really appreciate you, and you honestly get good vibes from me in your DFS lineups today. So good luck tonight. Take care. Bye-bye.